Wow, there's something about a LinkedIn teardown that just keeps bringing people back. I'm your host, James Ski, the founder of Sales Confidence. Today, I've got the wonderful Jack Knight, which is an extremely strong name on many levels. Jack, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm excited to be here.
Well, man, I've read some of your bio. It's pretty insane, and I respect your craft. And I'm interested to bring up your LinkedIn profile. Before we do that, and just for those that are sharing and joining this for the first time, we're basically going to tear down Jack's profile, understand his background, what he's about, where he's been, what he's cares about, and what matters to him today. So here's your LinkedIn profile. But before we start, where are you, Jack, in your life, and how did you get here? Tell us a little bit of a story, and tell us what you're about today before we start tearing down your LinkedIn profile.
Okay, perfect. James, before I do that, man, I've got a question for you. How are you not using dark mode on LinkedIn? Are you not a dark mode guy?
What's dark mode? I've never heard of it.
Oh my goodness. Go to the top right of your profile, hit me, go to settings and privacy. I believe it's like the third setting down, dark mode.
Whoa.
Now you might hate it, but I'm a dark mode guy. So there we go.
This is scaring me. But we're used. But these are the type of things. This is why I do the show, because these are the type of things that I want to learn from.
Yeah, you don't know till you know.
Hold on, is that why your banner's black?
Yes, and I'm not even thinking about it. Most people probably do have white, but hey, I think it looks better black. So here we are.
Okay, this is cool.
Um,
So tell us your story, Jack.
yeah, man. Yeah, so I actually got into sales through my own like neighborhood landscaping business through high school, just trying to kind of make some summer money. Didn't really fully grasp that it was sales. It's just something I've always done. Got into college, and there's a much deeper story here about me going into drug addiction, finding Christ, and all my life turning around. I went to jail for a season. I dropped out of college twice, so it wasn't this very like clean, straight and narrow path. But in terms of how I got here from a sales perspective, graduated college. I had a friend, dad. He was a VP of sales at a company called Elastic. And he hit me up. He's like, Jack, you're graduating. You have no idea what you want to do with your life. You need to do sales. Come be an SDR. I was like, no, I don't want to be an SDR. There's like quota and pressure and cold calling. But the connection made sense because I had already done a bit of sales as a landscaper for myself. So yeah, long story short, I came into SaaS through that connection into the SDR role, fell in love with it, and have kind of been here ever since.
Amazing. So for those that are seeing this for the first time, if you're watching this back on YouTube, we're in LinkedIn dark mode, which you can change in your settings. This is new for me. Jack's just introduced us to it. The first place I go is, man, that's a sharp haircut. When was this photo taken, Jack?
So this is a AI generated version of a real photo I have. So my last LinkedIn headshot was outside of a brick building. My wife and I needed a new headshot. So I threw on this button down, and I remember squatting in this super awkward position on this brick wall to get this photo. And so that was my headshot for the longest time. But as I grew up and it was like 3-4 years, I was like, it doesn't really look like me. And I was too lazy to go take a new one. So I threw this in some app. I don't know if I think it was a Remini AI, REMINI. And it spit out a bunch of headshots. And I looked at this one. I'm like, it looks good. It doesn't look fake, but it also definitely looks pro. So I'm just going to rock with it. And here we are.
Well, to be fair, yeah, you have to stare at it, don't you?
Yeah.
Would I think it's AI without you saying that? I don't think I would. I think you need to put your head in a bit more.
Okay.
So like somehow it's good to have the color background all the way around, because
Mm.
we're not sure about what's happening here. But look, these are small things. This is a teardown. So fine, that's your photo.
No, I think I need to zoom it out. You're right, and get more in there.
Yeah, you talk about helping you break into tech sales, husband and father, Romans 1:16, which I'm not religious, but I'm guessing that's a quote. Is that do the job, get the job? Is that from Romans or is that something else? Educate me. Educate us then on what that is, Jack.
Yeah. So Romans, it's I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Basically, like that's why I got out of jail. That's why I was able to get free from drugs. So I love sharing my story, my pain with people, because a lot of people resonate to pain. And so that's kind of that ad right there. If anyone wants to look that up, then they'll get to know more about me there. Do the job to get the job connects back to the first line, help you break into tech sales. If you want to break into tech sales, you have to be willing to do the job to get the job. And I just found myself over the years saying that over and over. And I finally just like went and copied and pasted a little TM sign next to it. So
smart. And for the love of SDRs, are you only focused on the SDR role, or do you help people break into any level of tech sales role?
Primarily SDR. I've helped a handful of account executives, but I don't like to market myself out of my lane and try to overemphasize, my experience. SDRs is definitely where I live, what I love, but I have expanded to that before. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a strategy. I actually think this is how I discovered you through school.
Yep.
Which not everybody knows about. It's now promoted by Alex Hormozy, who, a lot of people are a fan of his business philosophy and his approach to business. So let's actually see that in action here. Just educate people. What is school? What is this? What's your strategy here? What does this mean?
Yeah.
What are you selling or what are you not selling? Tell us more.
Yeah. Fun fact, school also has dark mode, but not many people will care about that. So school is essentially an online classroom. And what I wanted to do is make it very easy for people to see exactly what they need to do to get into tech sales. A couple of years ago, I had a buddy reach out. Hey, Jack, you're in tech sales. I want to get in, good money, remote. How do I do it? And so I literally spent hours with this guy teaching him everything. Then I had like 2 weeks later, someone else reach out and I spent hours with them. And then by the third person, I got so annoyed. I'm like, I'm just going to write this down. So if anyone ever hits me up and they need help getting into tech sales, I can send them this document. So I got this whole document together, then kind of realized, wait, this will be more effective if I show people through recordings how to get into tech sales. And then that ended up into one big, long, hour-long YouTube video that I cut up into different pieces and put into this course here. So people that are trying to get into tech sales, they now have a free resource that shows them step-by-step, literally how to do the job to get the job. And there's a community here where they can connect with other people on the job search. And people that are in this community, if they want one-on-one help to go land a job in tech, boom, I've got direct access to them. They're already being nurtured and made aware of what I do, and we're able to connect from there.
Interesting. Do you offer a guarantee?
I used to, but I've never had a client fail. I've had 2 clients I had to make leave the program because they just weren't doing what I asked them to do. But I don't do a guarantee anymore because if you work with me, you're going to get a job, assuming you show up to the gym.
Wow. And how often is the gym?
Gym is the more hours a day you put in, the more you're going to get out. But I need like 2-3 hours a day of your dedicated focus on this process for you to actually go land a job in about 4 weeks is what we're doing right now.
You're taking someone that's not in tech sales and getting them an SDR job in 4 weeks.
That's correct. Yep.
Fair play. I respect that. Okay, let's go back to LinkedIn. You've already shared a bit about your journey. It's very brave to be open. So just to give you a bit of an indicator, I'm bipolar. So I've been in and out of mental health hospitals. I've not been in a jail cell. I'm not a drug addict, but there is a relation of being in a cell type environment when you're in a mental health institution. I can't speak for the US. I have no idea what the US is obviously like other than TV. And I've experienced many hospitals in the UK, but you're very honest here. Why be so honest, Jack? Why not just hide all this stuff?
Yeah. it's because I know there's people out there that have struggled, are struggling with the same stuff. And I genuinely believe that pain is a great connector between humans. And so if I can just be super bold about what God has done in my life, then people who are struggling will know, hey, I'm going through similar things, or hey, Jack's done worse than I have. He's not going to judge me. So leading with that pain allows people to connect with me. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not here for me. I'm here that other people would get to know God. And I know you said you're not religious. That's cool. I love all people, love all faiths, all that. But my mission is to give people the hope that I didn't have before meeting Jesus.
And that positioning there, hope, and I understand, I can recognize that. That's a powerful thing. And honestly, what's interesting here, just even though we're not meeting in person, just the words, how they're resonating through your faith. For someone that says, I'm not religious, I like to, believe in something, and I like this. So, okay, on to LinkedIn here. This post here did extremely well. It's kind of the typical Instagram before, after, which is amazing. How often do you get this level of engagement and success?
I think I've had maybe 2 or 3 other posts like that ever. But they always seem to be my most dramatic posts. Like, I got fired from my 2 jobs ago. I got fired and I posted about that. That one blew up too. So it seems to be like the lowest of lows bring the most engagement, but I don't know. I think it's refreshing. Like, if we're authentic about life, people resonate with that.
Totally hear you. I totally hear you. So what's your LinkedIn strategy for those that want to learn about LinkedIn? What are you doing on LinkedIn to make yourself grow your business or help you grow your business?
Yeah, it's all about value. Give away as much free value as you can. When I first started business, I had such a scarcity mindset that if I share my secrets, what makes me successful, other people are going to steal that stuff and run with it, and I'm going to be left in the dust. That is the wrong way to think about business, because the more I freely give, the more people start to associate me with being a subject matter expert. And then when they actually need help and they're fed up with their situation, they'll reach out to me because I've shared so much. I've already added so much value. So my goal on LinkedIn is just to freely give, and I believe I'll freely receive through that.
And what's working for you the most? Is it video content? Is it written content? Is it imagery? Is it?
I'm not even that good at LinkedIn to know, to be honest. I think I've had some good posts around helping people get into tech sales because there's a lot of people out there. That's a big market. And then the other stuff that does well is my anything I share that's practical from an SDR leader perspective. So, hey, if you're struggling with this specific SDR thing, here's some tools that will help you. So again, back to that value piece. Whenever I'm adding value, I feel like it resonates.
Okay. Well, look, I have to say, based on your story, by the way, I don't like dark mode. It's scaring me.
Back to the light side. No worries. I won't judge you.
I'm glad. So let me just go back to you a second. Okay. Where's Jack? Here you go. So I would say, and it's no surprise, your call to actions, your hooks, your summary, your use of imagery, your strategy right now is excellent. I think this is a great example of a great profile going direct direction. You could argue, like, in the scheme of things, anybody that has 10,000 followers plus is amazing. I've had people on the show that have got 100,000, 50,000. Like, I just had, before you, I had John Barrows, JB Sales. He has 400,000 and he's fed up with that many followers because he's not getting the engagement. Because new up and coming creators, LinkedIn is favoring right now.
Interesting.
And this is what's interesting. So, for me, that's been around a fairly long time, not as long as John, he's got 10 years still on me. I've got 10 years on you.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting the competitive advantage right now, and we're not as savvy. We don't know how to use Canva or, you know, how to do smart memes, or we're not so good on Instagram. So it's an interesting time right now in the LinkedIn sphere across generations.
Yeah.
But so just before we wrap this up, Jack, I'd love to know that if we got you back on in a year's time, you know, what would you have hoped to have achieved on LinkedIn? Where do you hope to be in your business and in your career?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have helped over 100 people break into tech sales. And just to think about that impact alone, it's an honor, because this career field pays a lot and there's a lot of flexibility within it and there's a lot of growth potential. So I want to keep maximizing that impact. I have another business, Call Blitz, where I'm helping remote sales teams. I would love to continue to connect with other SDR leaders and continue to learn more. One thing that I'll call out is I do think there's this misunderstanding on LinkedIn that if you're on LinkedIn and you're popular, you have a lot of followers, it means you know it all. But there are so many experts out there that don't even have time for LinkedIn because they are so dialed in on their craft. And I've met so many SDR leaders that have like 200 connections on LinkedIn, but they are experts in the craft. So something I want to do is make sure I'm not isolating myself and, oh, I know it all. No. I want to go find those people that are in the trenches and really better understand them and how their world works so that I can add more value to my community. So I don't know if that's a sufficient answer, but yeah, a year from now, I'd love to continue to maximize the SDR niche.
Okay, well, listen, it's been absolutely wonderful to learn more. I'd love to stay in touch and follow your journey. Everybody, you've been listening to the LinkedIn Teardown with your host, myself, James Ski. We've had the wonderful Jack Knight on the show. We've got many more guests lined up from around the world, sales, marketing, AI creators that are coming on the show. So, Jack, it's been a pleasure. Hold there one sec.